Hello, everybody. Welcome to Crafty Soup. My name is Misty, and that over there is Xander in the background. He is joining me today. I have a layout share today. It won't be very long, and it covers July and August, but I just wanted to pop in and give you a little bit of an update. I've had a couple of events, some travel, and a craft room makeover that is 90% complete now, so it's been a busy couple of months. So I haven't done as much scrapbooking as typical, but let's dive into what I do have and check it out. If you've been following me, you'll probably recognize a lot of these. I don't think I did too much off camera this time around. This one was part of my design team duties over at the Counterfeit Kit Challenge, and I created these embellishments myself, and I do have a video on that if you want to learn more. This one just used very basic tools, and this one used the Cricut machine to really alter up a die cut. What's fun about this particular layout is that it's got a couple of pullouts with extra information in here so that it tells a much more complete story of what I wanted to talk about that was happening in my garden this year. It's not only scrapbooking that I have neglected recently, but it is also my garden. And then later on, I had a prompt to talk about good news and bad news, or kind of comparing and contrasting some things, and I made a companion layout to go with this one. Even though these weren't planned originally to go together, I was able to use some of the leftover bits and pieces to make this one work. And these, if you've never seen them, over here in the middle are egg cases for praying mantids. And I love seeing them, the praying mantids, in my garden every fall. I always take a picture when they show up. And this year they've been pretty dang active, and I was excited to find the 2 egg casings. But my fence is broken, and that's where the egg casings are attached, so I have to carefully move them, and I have done some research, and now I know how, so I need to move them to a safer spot so I can repair the fence. So that was that layout. Oh, let me make sure I get my notes on there, so when I go to put these away, I know exactly where they go. This one was my mystery box makes video, where I'd gotten some mystery supplies, and there was a stamp set, some papers, and an embossing folder. So you can see the texture from this one came from that embossing folder. So this was a quick, non-traditional Christmas layout that I did with my mystery box supplies. So that one worked out better than I thought it would, for sure. This was the layout that I did for my Spellbinders Glimmer Hot Foil Kit of the month. And you can see that I've got some hot foiling going on in the back. And I used both the August kit and the July kit on this one, and did some watercoloring. And I've got a video up on that one if you want to check it out. That one does not have a label because it's got a date on it, and it just goes in my own album. Let's see, this is a very simple, straightforward layout that I did for a prompt, and I don't quite remember what the prompt is, but I had found these papers from my daughter and I playing Boggle, and it was a big thing last year in particular, so it was fun to find these sheets when I was cleaning the house, and it worked for the prompt that I was working on. Quick and easy layout that came together really nicely. So that was that one. You might be able to hear my kitty. He wants out. We'll make him wait for just a moment. All right, I have let the cat out because he was not having it. This layout was based on another prompt, and I don't quite remember what the prompt was, but it turned out really well to kind of compare my first baby with his strawberry blonde fuzzy hair, and my second baby who had a head full of black hair. And it kind of surprised me after the first one came out like this, that the second one would be looking like that. So this was kind of a funny story that I hadn't told yet. So that was it's a good reason to pay attention to some scrapbooking prompts, because they can spark stories that you might not otherwise have thought of or have told already. So I like that. All right, then we're going back to July because I went to my Scrap Happy groups reunion, as we call it. So that's our in-person gathering once a year. And we had lots of prompts and challenges and fun along the way during our weekend event. And this was one of them. So Lindsay, who is on the creative team along with me and a bunch of other very talented ladies, taught a class on using these products from, now I'm going to forget what they're called. I'll pop a link up on the screen because I can't remember what they're called, and I want to give them due credit because I really enjoy their very colorful watercolory elements. They do have some other things that are not quite my style, but what they do have that is my style is really my style. So this was a lot of fun, and Lindsay shared the products with us, and they were generously donated by the company. So that's another reason I really want to get that on the screen. So that was a very fun layout, and I happened to have lovely pictures to go with the sunset and some palm trees that was randomly given to me from the supplies. So that worked out nicely. This was another layout that we did as part of a class at the Scrap Happy reunion. And this one is a very interesting interactive because it's got this sturdy element down here that pulls out. And while it pulls down, it also pops up an additional panel at the top. So I got myself lots and lots of journaling on this panel down here at the bottom. As you can see, it keeps going. And then also an extra picture up at the top. And it's just a nice, surprising element on a layout that you might not expect. So you can see a little peek of journaling there. And this, when I put it in a page protector, I will make a slit in a page protector so that this part sticks out, and that little bit of journaling plus the tab will be a clue to go ahead and pull this out. So that was a fun layout, and we were given lots of strawberry-based papers for this one, and I ended up telling a blueberry story, and then in my journaling, contrasting it with some strawberry news, I guess you could say. So that was interesting that I could tie all that in together. All right, this one was another one that I completed during the event, but this was just was this my own design? I think we were encouraged to use triangles. I don't quite remember. That's back in July. I'm pretty sure it was about triangles. So I used a triangle to create a roof on my house, and it's just a very clean and simple layout. I think the funnest thing I did about this one is I'm talking about my brother's house. So it's his old house, but I also added a little T to go with this old house, which is the name of the Fixer Upper TV show. So I really enjoyed putting this clean and simple layout together. This one was a Spellbinder's hot foil plate layout. So I used the snowflake hot foil plate to create panels to tell another non-traditional Christmas story, and I am just fine with that. Sometimes I really do like the themed products, and other times it doesn't bother me to just kind of go my own way and tell stories in a non-traditional way. So I did appreciate the snowflakes because that is one of my favorite icons when it comes to the winter holidays, so I enjoyed that one. This one was a challenge to use things that start with the letters of the word weird. So W, I used water. I used water. I was going to say washi tape. That's also on here, but I think I went with water. And then the I in weird was for inking, and I did ink splatters and so on and so forth. So this was just a product of another challenge from the event, another clean and simple one that ended up being really fun because I did some decoupage with some of these rice papers that I haven't played with before, and that was a lot of fun. So I enjoyed that. And then also at the event, I taught a watercolor class, and this was my sample project. I kept the sample really clean and simple so that anybody who wasn't used to watercoloring wouldn't feel too overwhelmed. But during the class, I showed off lots of ways to to kind of zhuzh up these various squares, and keeping the little canvas really small helps not to be overwhelmed. And then you could mix and match and play with all of these areas and do different things. On the back was just some other style of watercoloring that I had done, but I had come around with sheets and sheets of examples that people could use. So that is it for this time around. We'll bring myself back here. I want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something interesting out of seeing the work that I've done in the last couple of months. I hope to be back at the end of September with another project share. I've got a couple of things going on this month that's going to involve plenty of card making, so you will see both my layouts and a bunch of cards. So hopefully you appreciate both of those paper crafty goodies. So that does wrap it up for now, and I hope until I see you next time that you have some wonderful days. Xander, come here. Come here, kitty. Come on. I'll let you out in a minute.